Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for these very inspiring words. I'm very happy to be here. Also, not super, uh, yeah, super, a bit stressed as everyone else, but very happy to accept this invitation. And because Alejandra and Estelle have been working with at that tech school for a while now, and I was really happy to say yes to this also challenge for me. So yeah, maybe some words about myself. I've been working for 6 years now, mainly in startups, coming from a very different background, literary studies, research. So obviously, I also had to learn new rules and get used to startup business world when I joined. And for 2 years now, a bit less than 2 years, I'm directing the campus of the Parisian Adetech School campus. And just to maybe say some words about ADA. So ADA is now an inclusive school, which mission is to train a new generation of diverse talent. And as you will see, a lot of women to have a positive impact on the world through tech. So that's quite ambitious. How do we do it? What do we want to achieve? Basically, we provide 2 years training. So first year on the campus, full-time training and generous teaching methods. So here we learn the basics of code, how we learn how to code. And second year in a professional environment with a fixed term, short-term contract, alternance. So that's what we do. Also very important to say, the selection is based on is inclusive, so it's based on soft skills only. We have no tech tests to join ADA. So we value motivation, autonomy, proactivity, and such things. And who are we training? We are training mainly women, so 70% of women in our promotions. Most of them are around 30, 35 years old, and they are changing careers, and that's why I'm here. They were before researchers, they were artists, they were midwives, so they have a lot of very, very inspiring stories and background. And actually, as a campus director, I have the chance to follow them on a daily basis, and I always get super inspired by their courage. And I usually tell them that actually what they do, not everyone could do it. So yeah, I would like to share maybe some insights about the learning path at ADA for these women that are changing career, and what we see, how we face these challenges with them. So usually, when you join ADA, you're a woman, you're 30, 35. You've worked for, I don't know, 15 years in the food industry, for example. You have to accept first that you start again. So you have to accept to discover something completely new. You have to accept to be completely lost, to lose control, because maybe you knew before exactly what you were doing, why you were doing it, and how you needed to do it, and you knew your functioning as well. When you start and to learn code, you start again, and first you have to be super forgiving with yourself, and you have to accept that doubts are part of the way, and it's a learning path, and it's your learning path. It's different for everyone, but it's really a journey. We usually use this drawing to make it a bit more visual. So when you join, usually the first weeks, it's the honeymoon. So you're super excited, you have a lot of energy, you you're meeting new people, you're discovering new topics. It's amazing. Then after some weeks, you meet the hill, and now it's a bit more difficult to, because you realize how big it is and how much things you can learn, and it can be super frightening. Then you adapt usually, so you take a step back. You also you developed your own tools, you have a routine, you find your marks, and you can start the cruise. So here you usually have a bit more fun, and that's when at ADA you work. You can also go a bit further with other people during group projects, etc. And the last part of the first year is a bit also challenging because you're getting ready for professional world, and yeah, it's a very stressful moment, obviously. But that's what we usually what people face when they join. What we tell them is that you need to be forgiving with yourself, but ambitious. And another thing we see usually is that women are a bit afraid of challenging themselves intellectually. They know they can do it, but it's a bit hard for them to accept it somehow, and they they're a bit afraid to be ambitious sometimes. So what we really try to bring and how we try to help them is first to bring human support. So we have great teachers. Some of them were also changing careers a bit before, so they are super. They know what you're going through, but we also try to help them to have a non-violent communication towards themselves. So we usually underestimate the power of words. When you say all the time, "I won't make it," I'm not able to do this, it's too difficult. It actually has an impact on yourself, and at the end, your brain start to believe it, which is really something you don't want. So non-violent communication, also journaling. So at the end of each day, we have we take some time, and we we ask them to write some stuff about their day challenges, what they faced, also the success, the victories. And last thing, but super super important, I think, to avoid anxiety, you have to be in action, and being in action in the tech school is also coding, so you need to practice. That's what we say. We remind them all the time. It can be super tempting to just stay and watch videos and watch tutos and just stay in this very theoretical world. But at the end, it's only when you're practicing that you're making mistakes and that you're progressing. So, yeah. Second step, second phase, other thing we usually see is that once you're aware of what you can do, you also have to accept your career singularity and be conscious of it, because usually we see that women are not aware of how their past experience make them someone unique and very, very resourceful coworker. And it's quite funny, but also a bit sad to see that when we are helping them to prepare for interviews and reviewing their pitch with them, they are sometimes mentioning only 2 words what they've done before. So I've worked for 15 years as a researcher, and now I'm changing career, and I've always I've always liked to code, but I've never really dared uh, to take the step. And actually, you can say so much. You have so many things to say about what you've done before. You have so many skills that you've gained, and you have so many. These skills can be also super valuable as a dev tomorrow. And it's really what makes you someone super, super unique, and tomorrow a very precious coworker. So a bit linked to that, I think it's also super important to make this to realize that this career change is yours, and embrace it, and at the same time be convinced about it. Because if you're something also I usually tell them is that if you're not convinced yourself, you won't convince other. It's a bit harsh, but it's also true. So if you're saying sorry all the time if you're acting or behaving as if you're not the right person. People unfortunately won't do it for you, so you have to first do the job and be convinced about yourself before convincing others. So that's something we really try to help them to do. And for that, we have career managers on the campus to help them get familiar with their stories and train and help them tell their speech. We also don't use, we try to avoid as much as possible comparison. So there is no grades at ADA. But there is auto-evaluation. So the goal for us is to help them realize what skills they have, so tech skills, but also soft skills, and which skills they still need to develop. But we are not here to say, yes, it's good, no, it's not good. Here is how you should do. It's really something we try to teach them to do. So once you've explored yourself and you know you're embraced your career and you know exactly what you can bring to the tech world, you can really realize that you'll be part of a community. It also have actually you have a responsibility in this sense, because you can then build also for other women, and we mentioned it, a safer work environment. And to do that, you also need to know your limits, express your limits, and communication is a super important tool. And that's why we are putting a lot of focus on working with people at ADA. So we have half of the time you're working in group projects during the first year. And the goal for us here is really to help them learn how to communicate efficiently and also truly listen, which is actually not super easy. And actually it's super hard, because when you're changing career, you're facing so many challenges, first with yourself, and then you're in a group, you're learning something completely new, you're working with different people, you maybe they have different functionings. It's a lot of things to handle at the same time. So communication can be a very should be a very resourceful tool. We also organize some retro session at the end of each group. The goal here is not to avoid conflict, but just to also handle it, learn how to handle it in an appropriate manner. So again, express your needs, express your limits. We can also offer mediations with teachers, with the staff, and the idea is to build a safe environment around you to be able to learn in a safe place, basically. We also have a very important ritual at the end of each day that we call la clôture. Actually, it's the end of the day. Again, you've gone through a lot of things. Sometimes it was a very tough day. The goal here is to just share something about your day, something you want to share. So you're in a circle with your promotion, and you can decide to talk or not to talk. It's not mandatory. You can choose not to talk at all, but you have to listen to other people and what they have to say. And one after another, you can share what you want about your day. So I don't know, your highlight of the day, low light of the day, emotion of the day, what you want and need to share. And the goal here is really to share something, to get support and energy from others, and also to be able to give energy and support from others to others. And that's also the idea is to create this synergy between the promotions and inside the school, to make sure that you get inspired by role models, and you also can inspire other people. And it's super, actually it's quite moving to see inside promotions people creating a lot of links and reassuring themselves. And we see alumni coming and reassuring new promotions and working on great projects together when they are preparing an exam for the end of the year. And that's always something quite moving, I have to say, for me. And yeah, I think that's a bit everything I wanted to share today with you. All the challenges we see this woman facing on a daily basis. And actually, I'm very impressed all the time to see this woman and to work with them. Very happy to work with them. Thank you.